go to, don't really need the intro. Don't really need the intro for that. Let me just take off a couple things that I have going on here on my phone. Don't need this, don't need this. Do need YouTube. We will go to mine. Okay. Turn my voice down on my phone because nobody wants to hear doubles of me. Hey, Tim. All right, so I'm going to do a couple things in this. Let me open up my mod organizer. So I did a couple changes myself. I had guards armor replacer up above, and then I forgot that this needs to be underneath Wicco. So I have the armor replacer underneath and the replacer patches. There's a couple of these. So hopefully now all the guards have proper. Let me just make sure it's in the plugin section. Guard armor replacer is 125. Let's see where that compares to Wicco. Alright, so I have to load this underneath. And I have it under Northbourne Scars. So I'm going to drop these down real quick. Northbourne Scars is there. Guards armor replacer, we need to put these underneath as well. With the Wicco patches. Now the patches were underneath. The armor replacer was above, but now we have Wicco above. And I want to make sure then I also have footprints. I dropped it all the way down to right above visible favorited gear. That should alleviate that issue. Okay, so let's go back here. So the skill uncapper is right here, mod 8889. The uncapper itself is one file. It's very, very easy. It's just mod manager download. And then where the uncapper is up top, you're going to want to keep, because it's considered a SKSE plugin, all the way at the top here. You can keep it somewhere, but it's got to be underneath console util and papyrus util. And I actually have it right above engine fixes. Engine fixes would be here. This is normal. The uncapper itself is, it seems a little more difficult, and it took me a couple tries doing it because there are several steps to get it properly working. The file, as you can see, it's a DLL, so you're not going to have the uncapper any. There's a reason for this. Let me close this out. So when you download the uncapper itself, mod manager downloads, it's just like any other mod, right? Download for any to show up like I just showed. How when you open and explore and expand this plugins, this won't be here. This uncapper any will not be here. You will just have the uncapper DLL. All you do is when you have the uncapper DLL and before this ini generates, it's just like most other ini files. All you do is go to your, because you're going to run it with SKSE obviously, just hit run. It's very similar to generating ini files for other things. You just want to run the game to boot up, right? So if I were to hit run, the game is going to load. Same thing with, I think, what is it, engine fixes. You just want it to generate those ini files. Same as even the base game too. If you look at, sorry, I'm gonna swap over microphones here. 1 second. Give me 1 second here. Let me just turn my other microphone on because this one stays on. Alright, can you hear me on this one now? This should be good. Let me just check OBS here to make sure that this is. Where's microphone? Okay, yeah, it looks like it's running good. So this is my okay, awesome. Yeah, you can hear it too. This is how I check it. I always have to go back to OBS. So this is the Yeti microphone. This is courtesy of Rooster. Again, thank you, Rooster, for this. This has been a godsend to me. Because my headset microphone will periodically shut off normally if I don't have the game running in the background or I'm not watching like a YouTube video. So the microphone cuts out. Obviously, from past videos, everybody noticed how I was annoyed with my headset over that. I have no control over that. So this will stay on now. I won't have to keep restarting it. Okay, let me close this down. Just like you have your where is it? The not sure here. Even the base game annies that generate. Once you install Skyrim itself, you run the base game. So you're going to do the same thing for the uncapper. Once the uncapper is downloaded and checked, you just run the game. Okay, it will generate. Wrong one. Sorry. I've done this so many times now I'm forgetting how to do it. It will generate a base uncapper ini. Now, here you're going to open this with something like Notepad or Notepad++. So when you do this, after you just install the uncapper, not the uncapper, yours is going to look different. These values will all be 100, which is the normal skill cap it for everything, even with Ordinator, okay? And then your skill formula caps, these are also going to be 100. Your skill experience gain multipliers will all be set to 1. This is where you get into Dirty Weasel Media's skill uncapper for Ordinator. Now there's a couple files here to look at. They're both for Ordinator, okay? The top one is just a manual download, and you can do it this way. The one that I recommend, and there's a video that Cal from Dirty Weasel Media did, excuse me, for the uncapper. You want this second main file here. You could do it both ways. However, he recommends, and I also recommend, downloading this with Manager, so it's going to become an actual mod. What you're going to do is when you run it, you're going to run it again with this mod, right? So with this mod in your Downloads tab, okay, you're going to get files that appear in your Overwrite mod. So this file here is going to say SKSE data plugins. And I could probably, you know what, I'll do it again for the sake of doing it, because I don't think it's going to mess anything up on my end. Yep, you got it. Yep, you just copy and paste it right over. So once you have those generated files in your Overwrite mod, you are literally going to come back up to where your uncapper is. So Skyrim skill uncapper is right there. You are going to take the entire file here. You just want it to say SKSE. You're going to take it, you're going to hold left click, you're going to drag it right into the uncapper. Also, when you do this, make sure that the SKSE folder from here is now gone, because if it's not gone, it means it didn't get thrown into the uncapper plugin. And what you're going to do is when you download with Manager, it's going to have something different. So if I type in this uncapper for Ordinator with Mod Manager, if I go to download this, it's going to default for this, ini for Ordinator. And then when you manually check it,
this is the new uncapper. But if you just, set the data here and the name stays the same, it's going to load it as a separate mod, which you can do and place it underneath the skill uncapper directly, and it'll work perfectly fine. How to change the values? Very easy. Very easy. All you do is open an Explorer, go to your new uncapper ini after you've merged it in. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to open this with Notepad or Notepad++. Okay. You literally, where is it? Destruction. Destruction starts off at 0.5, right? So just go and adjust them. 0.5. If you want a 0.5, once you exit out, it's going to save that as 0.5. So when I go back in and open with Notepad again, you'll see destruction saved at 0.5. Well, I want my destruction at 0.75. I don't want it to level too quickly, but 0.5 is half the time for destruction, and I want my destruction to, it's going to be one of my character's major skills, so I don't want it at 1, because then his destruction will be boosted way, way above other things like sneak. Well, sneak's still 1, but I don't want destruction to level as quickly as sneak. He's going to be sneaking all the time. I should actually reduce sneak down to maybe 0.8, but I'm going to leave it as 1 because this character relies on sneak. So however your character wants to do, you go into the skill experience gain mults, and obviously the higher the number here, the quicker he's going to level. The lower the number here, the longer it's going to take for this particular skill, any of these particular skills, to level up to the next level of that particular skill. Not your character's overall level, but just of each skill. Some of these I left alone. Some of the ones that are left default I left alone. Alchemy was already at 1. I left it at 1. I was actually going to increase this to 1.2 because I'm not going to use alchemy as much, but I'm still an alchemy focused character. So I thought, well, since I'm not going to be constantly grinding at an alchemy bench, maybe I should bump it up to 0.2, but I think leaving it at 1 would be okay. So that's how you adjust those. You can also adjust the total caps. Like if you don't want Cal's 255 for every mod and you want them to say maybe 150 only, highlight, just one value, change it to 150. It's that simple. You can go through the rest of them too. And I believe on the page, where is it? On the uncapper page in the description, there might be, all right, so this video is outdated, but in the description for that Cal from Dirty Weasel Media did, this one's revised. Or, well, revisited, revised. This is the newer one to go over, so you can watch this video. But it is fairly simple. Once you have them merged, you have to open it in Notebook or a Notepad, and you just manually adjust the values however you like, however you're going to play your character, which ones you think you want to level quicker, slower, if you want them defaults, if you want them, you could literally adjust every single value in here. And then I actually had to download Notepad++ because it's a little easier to read. It's not all just black and white. You have some separator, some color. Because I hate staring at a black and white text, especially stuff like this. For me personally, it confuses me a lot. And then I spend more time looking at it saying, did I make a mistake? Did I put the right thing in? So Notepad++, definitely, it's free. Definitely get it. And then you can always choose which one you want to open it in. I could still open it in Notepad if I want to, but I don't. These you can also change subsections of skill below allow to set additional multiplier depending on character level. So this is, I would say, independently for each skill. This format is player character level equals multiplier. Obviously, as it says right here, he already did a fantastic job explaining everything. So for me to go back over this, I would probably mess up some of the wording. he's got it perfect right here. Everything in the green, excuse me, is how it should be. It's not used in the setup, so settings of 1 doesn't change any applied multiplier. You can go and change these to whatever you'd like to. And there's a bunch of them. This is dependent on base skill level. These have also been adjusted on base skill level, independent for each skill. So same premise. This format is player base skill level equals multiplier. You can specify many different levels. If a specific level is not specified in the then the closest lower level setting is used. Default is 1 equals 1.0. So one-handed at 40 would be 1. One-handed at 70 would be 1.15. One-handed at 100 would be half, so 0.5. And you can see as you level up from 1 to 20, this value from a quarter changes to 3/10, 4/10, 5.5, 3/4, and then at usually at character level 40, most characters tend to be up to full maturity. Yeah. I was just using base Notepad, and then I saw in his video, I think it was this revisited video, Notepad++, and I'm like, well, I've already got Notepad. I thought ++ came with Windows 10. No, it does not. But it's free. It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I could look at this now, and just by looking at these values here, if I opened up like just a base, the same thing in Notepad itself, would be more confusing to me. ++ makes it so much easier just to read. And sometimes I have a hard time reading things, or, if my site's, giving me trouble, or I have my contacts in all the time and I didn't take them out yet, but I had to get this done. Yeah, it definitely makes it easier to read it like this. So, what else? There's other uncappers, I believe. Let me see. He says you can also use, where is it here? I think it's under requirements. So you could also use it as a DLL loader, but you don't need to. It goes off of SKSE. So as long as you have, see how it says, so it requires SKSE. So the word or, see how it says or? So you could use Shadowman's DLL loader, MEH321's DLL loader. There's one other one, I think, done by the Caretaker. That's another DLL loader, but since we're using SKSE64 already, it's just so much easier to do it that way. You could change the values anytime you want to. Middle of the game, beginning of the game, end of the game. You could change the values between quests. You could change the values in between dialogue if you need to. And that's what I did too. I went by what I saw in the video. Yeah, by his this video here, and then there's another video on his own YouTube that's along the lines of this, but it's kind of more of a tutorial as to what the uncapper actually does, as opposed to this is what it does plus setup, I believe. Definitely the easiest way to do it. Definitely the easiest way to do it. What else? Not this. And then, yeah, obviously, I had mine merged. You can see I have the uncapper here, and then I downloaded this one with Manager, or version 1.1 Ordinator. And just all I did was change the name. Like I said, I changed the name from any Ordinator. I literally did this. If I type R, it's going to backtrack. It's going to... Oh, no, it's not. Okay. Just the Skyrim skill uncapper. So that way, when you go to now, manually set... you could check it. There's your ini. So you go to set the data directory. Once you hit OK, it's going to ask you to merge. It's going to merge it with the original one. I think you already know how to do that. I think you've already done that. I think you mentioned that. I think too much. But yeah, that's how that works. So just by changing the name simply because you've already got it in there, it will detect that particular name. It will ask to merge. That's exactly what you want to do. And to change the innies as you go, anytime, open an Explorer, pull it up again with Notepad++. There you go. These are the default values. Like I said, the only thing that I changed in mine was destruction. Destruction starts out at 0.5. I wanted it a little bit higher, but I didn't want it at default at 1. So I feel like 0.75 is good. I might change that. Let's say I might make it 0.8. Let's make it 0.8 for me personally. And then when I close this down, it doesn't ask you to save it. It just automatically saves it. Any files are like that. So when I go back in to open it again, and I check my destruction is at 0.8. So, and that's how I wanted it. I'm trying to think of what else I was trying to work on that I noticed. So I have to check the guard's armor. I have to check the footprints. I think I'm keeping the landscape. What do you mean to read? Oh, cam. Right here. Reads everything for me. My CPU, my GPU, RAM for this particular SSD. And it also gives temperatures. So like when you're gaming, obviously your temperatures from your GPU will go up a little bit. When you game and you stream, that's when you have to be careful. Like I actually just cleaned again and reapplied some more thermal paste to my to the cooler to my CPU, because this temperature here tends to get a lot higher than your GPU's does. And I think I even had exceeded 81 degrees Celsius. Now it says prolonged use at this temperature may shorten. I didn't have it. It spiked. It hit 81 and then it dropped back down to somewhere in the 50s. So I was doing a lot of stuff at that particular point. To cam, yeah. Let me see. Like minimize this. Where do I find? Not camera. Where's the link? It was here. I think it's got a website built in. Hold on. Let me see. Drivers. You could overclock it from here. This is your build. I think it's about. Let's check for updates. I know mine's due for an update, but let's see, CAM version 3.7.7. Let's do that. So NZXT here. I'm not 100% sure if this is it. It should be. So NZXT, it's going to be on NZXT's site. PC monitoring, I want to say this is where it was. I haven't checked this from where it is from back in April. NZXT cam. So you can see this is the same now. This is the beta here. The complete PC monitoring solution. Free download. Custom RGB. Custom cooling curves. In-game overlay. This one here does a lot more. and it's a little bit bigger of a download. Cam itself is a couple of gigabytes. It's pretty large, but for what it does, I mean, it monitors. You can monitor everything. Like if I'm not overclocked, so you can see my GPU temp, my voltage. This is what it's going to measure standard, right? Go back to the dashboard. You could also do a mini version of it too. You should have a mini one there. But see how it's like this? Let me just close my pages down. Get that out of there. Get out of there. So if you don't like it cluttering up your screen, but you still want to monitor, you could, put it off to the side. You could, put it down here in the center. Same thing. It's just you have everything condensed into 4 quadrants. So that link again is nzxt.com. /cam, but it's going to be under, once you go to the NZXT website, PC monitoring, and there may be more. So it looks a little bit different than mine. You can also customize the overlay for that. Let me switch back here. I kept mine default with the gray and the blue. I like that, That's just me. And I also like the normal version of it here. I could, switch to mini cam, which is cool. If you have a lot of things going on in different, like, you have a couple different things and you have them minimized to the point where you can read all 4, 5, 6, but you want to also monitor what's going on here. You could do that. But I like to keep mine usually right here, but then I minimize it down to my taskbar here. Yeah, it's invaluable. It is invaluable, especially if you're going to be playing and you're going to be playing like on ultra settings, and if you're going to stream, or if you're playing like something that's real, like you. What's a good game? Something that's Skyrim on PC runs a little wonky over 60 FPS. Havoc starts to kind of go crazy on you, and things start flying around the screen and everything. So I think usually over 60 is why they tell you to cap it at 59. So, I mean, if you're in the 50s FPS wise on PC, your game is still going to look and play fine. You're not going to have any stutters. Even if you dip down to 30 is what console has as their max. The console version, like the Xbox and PlayStation 4 versions of Skyrim, will not see over 30 FPS. It is capped at 30 for a reason, because the consoles cannot run 60 FPS. They could try, but you're gonna have issues. So, but Cam is Cam's invaluable. Invaluable. I don't need the Google search anymore. Could close that out. Close out the uncapper. Close that down. Alone, as long as these are okay. So we changed footprints. We swapped their locations. That's all we did. So I'm not going to need to rerun. Down to what did I wanted to add something. I wanted to add but I would have to rerun it too. Damn it. The maps now. Oh, you're welcome, dude. Absolutely. Yeah, Cam is that's one of the first things John Rose suggested I grab. Like when we were setting, when I should say he was setting a lot of my stuff up, because I didn't really know what I needed, what I didn't. I obviously have the GeForce Aura for my RGB, Cam for my monitoring. I think it's under downloads. Let me see here. What else do I have? What else do I have this pertinent here? So SteelSeries to monitor my headset. Also for updates for my headset, because I do get them. Streamlabs, obviously, when you download it, you'll have an icon here. Mod Organizer is the same way. You know, obviously other basic setups, Discord here. Cam installer will stay here for you. The Bethesda Net Launcher, which you've already got. Aura itself, right? Where is it? So they're all in there. I don't know why I have 3 G4. I never downloaded GeForce Experience 3 times, so. But they're all like 413, 414, 414. Yeah, so. And then IQ for Corsair. That's another one. If you have any Corsair, if you have any hardware. And then I obviously leave stuff here. Some of the stuff I have here, I can get rid of. I do have a Java update that I have to do, but I'm not going to do it because I need a 32-bit of Java to run Percus Maximus. But honestly, now with the uncapper, I really don't need to. And with Moral Loot and Immersive Jewelry, and what's the other weapon mod here I have? Let me see. Let's go to weapons. So Leon Wolf's better shape weapons for the mesh, immersive weapons, lore weapon expansion, and T Skyrim true weapons. This mod is great. This mod adds a lot. It is a big mod. 1.4 gig, right? And this is also adjustable in the foam mod. You get to pick which ones you want, right? But as you can see, it's got a Daggercraft package. Some other weapons. A lot of them are really well done. A lot of them are very fantasy-like. So, it's a nice change. These are of particular interest to me. Specifically the katana in the center. And the tanto as well. And what else? So you have your bone stuff here. This looks like dragon bone, or this is Horker bone. But you get everything from bolt bags to your bow, to your crossbow, to the sword, to the greatsword versions, the warhammer and the battle axe, the mace and the war axe, and the two daggers, and your shield. And then what else? So it was just one that I added in. If you read the description here. If you are running Legacy, there is a True Weapons patch. And Animated Armory also has a patch, though. And this is what it replaces. So these are the weapon packs included with this content. So I have Heavy Armory, Mars, Venus, Terra, Sol, and Luna, Daggercraft. I mean, you could read them here. It gives you a lot. It gives you a lot of different packages to use. Immersive weapons is level listed, yeah, with Moral Loot or any other loot type mod. What I mean by that is, let's close this down. Let's go back to Nexus here, where I'm actually logged in. So I will go to the Nordic guide. Open this up. I still use Nordic as a base. It's been good for me so far. Everything you want is right in the description page. So if you're looking for so weapons, add to the level list. So it's going to be down the bottom here. But you'd want your you'd want it under your lighting. So load order sensitive right before your patches. You can see more loot ultimate. Makes quality loot more rare, places them in a more immersive way. It adds items, changes how tempering weapons work, de-levels enemies, which also coincides with TPOS2, having a small de-leveler, right? And any pertinent patches. Like, I think I had about 140 patches when I started on those, and then even with some some ESP Lite plugins, I'm still running 262. And out of the 262, 175 are actual ESPs. There are 12 masters and 75 ES Lights. Most of those ESLs are patches. So, and that's how you do that. So, I'm just wondering if Imperial Armor Replacer. I have a couple. These last ones here at the bottom. Everything from Perfect Legionnaire on down. Oh, don't want to change it. From Perfect Legionnaire. Damn it. Down. These 4 are one mod, Perfect Legionnaire, but there's optional mods to choose. So I chose a couple, not all, just for, a little bit of diversity. So we'll have to see. So yeah, that's the uncapper. Like I said, pretty easy to use. The fact that you can adjust the values on the fly is amazing. One of the best things. It's not just like a set it and that's the way that it is the rest of the game. No, you can change it at any time. You could do it this way. You could do it through your innies. It's just great. Absolutely great. So, yeah. So, all right, that's it. I'm gonna get off here. I want to go back again. I want to do some testing on my own. And I wound up getting up early this morning. I may actually take a short nap before I have dinner tonight. So that won't be for another 3 hours or whatever. That'd be 6 p.m. by then. So yeah, I'm gonna take a nap. Like I said, I've been up early. I've been dog tired, and my back's just been completely on fire. So yep, Skyrim skill and cover, ordinator presets. So, and the cool thing about that is it balances everything out nicely. All right, I'm out of here, guys. MZ, I will see you back in Discord. And depending on how I like the landscape, I may do another quick test later on this evening. Not so much to show off the new edits, the new town locations, the new city overhauls. It may strictly be like weather, lighting, setting all that stuff up, etc. So we'll see. See how I feel. But yeah, that's about it. So I'm out. I'll see you guys back in Discord and talk to you later. Bye.